Hey everyone, thanks for your support in 2024. We have a lot of cool stuff coming in 2025, and here are some of the things you can look forward to as we move into next year. In the lead up to The Mandalorian and Grogu in 2026, we'll be starting a full series rewatch of both The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett on exploring hyperspace lanes beginning in October. You can also expect a rewatch of Andor, and we will have reviews of every episode of Andor and the rest of the Skeleton Crew as those come out. Josie will be returning as we continue to rank every Star Wars thing released ever. Reviews of every episode of every Marvel Disney Plus show, including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, The Eyes of Wakanda, Wonder Man, Ironheart, Daredevil Born Again, and Marvel Zombies, the day after each episode releases, will be available on Beware of Spoilers. We'll be having special event podcasts on 30-minute reviews for the Academy Awards, our 2024 year in review in early January, ranking all of Phase 5 of the MCU after Fantastic Four First Steps comes out, and our 10th anniversary special. Once we complete our rankings of all the Pokemon games on the backlog files, we'll be moving on to Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Over on the YouTube channel, you can join in for playthroughs of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, Pokemon White, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Sonic Adventure 2, LEGO Racers 2, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Want to keep on top of all the new things we have coming? Subscribe at mwpnews.com, subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/@mwpnews, or subscribe to Beware of Spoilers, 30-minute reviews, exploring hyperspace lanes, and the backlog files on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thank you for your support. Good morning and welcome to the Backlog Files. I am Adam, and we're here today. We're going to skip over. See, this is a kind of an issue that I've been having, is that it's like, I don't know if it really shows, but I wasn't the most gung-ho about the three that were between then and now, and I kind of want to, get into what I'm interested in on our Pokemon rankings. So we're going to skip ahead to Black and White because I wasn't super... we will get back to them, and we will have other episodes in between. I think this idea was more ambitious when I started, and it's one of those things where it's like, it seemed like a good idea on paper, but it just, as you go through a Pokemon game, you're like, holy fuck, all we're talking about is Pokemon. So we'll be interspersing other things throughout, like we did Sonic. So as we go through and do other things, we will be talking about those. Like I think Prince of Persia is going to be coming up, because I just bought that game on Steam sale. But regardless, the point is, hello. We're here to talk about Black and White today. Pokemon Black and Pokemon White, the first games in Generation 5, which came out in 2010, if I remember correctly. Because, yeah, that sounds right. I'm not going to look it up. But these were let's call it a soft reboot, because I think that is probably the most accurate way to portray what these games are to the Pokemon franchise. It's a soft reboot. It's a re-entry point for people who have either never played and wanted to, or wanted to and just never really, did before. Or had and then stopped. You don't have any of the original Pokemon, any of the first 493 Pokemon. They're not in the main game. They only come in the post game. So it is entirely new Pokemon. Everyone is starting from essentially, base point 0. And this is kind of where we start to get the real... I think this is, for what it's worth, this is where, and full disclosure, I wasn't really involved in the community at the time before this, and at this point, this is kind of where I think you start to get the real schism online between those who are this is kind of, I feel like, the birth of the Gen 1er. The people who are like, yeah, this is not the Pokemon that I grew up playing, this is totally different. You have the day-night cycle, you have seasons, you have Sawsbuck and Deerling, who change form based on the season. And it's the first attempt to do a more nuanced story. Because, like, let's go through it. It's like you have your general organized crime story in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 3, you have people who want to take over the world by either reshaping it with either a lot of land or a lot of water. Um, then you have Gen 4, which is like this crazy motherfucker who wants to use the power of a cosmic being to reshape the entire universe in his image. And then you have Gen 5, which is this question of, you know, is what we're doing to the Pokemon humane? Like, it's this idea of like, do like our Pokemon really our friends? Do they deserve to be freed? You know, it's an animal rights story with legendary Pokemon and all of that. And I think that that's kind of an interesting take with this. Um, like I said, I think that there are certain things about this game that are kind of a step backwards from previous games. I do not like the C gear taking up the bottom screen at all. Too much of this game is dependent on online capabilities that are now defunct and were, you know, defunct for a while, like pretty quickly after release. And that's considering that, like, you know, the Dream World, and the thing is too, I played the Dream World when it came out, and it's one of those things where I was kind of like the whole thing where it's like you have to go through and then you'll find Pokemon who have, you know, alternate hidden abilities. It's all kind of interesting and kind of cool, but like at the same time, not really. Like the gameplay mechanics don't really lend themselves to getting that, and that being fun. If you catch my drift, like it like the way that they do it, where you're clicking through screens and trying to catch Pokemon, that whole thing is not the most fun on the planet. Um, and I think too, they don't do a great job really integrating that into the main story in any meaningful way, where they could have. I do like the design of Unova. I like the first attempt at really doing a major hub city. Because, like, yeah, there was Jubilife, and yeah, there's Celadon, and yeah, there's Mawile and Lily Cove, but Castelia City feels the most unique. Like, and even of the ones that come after it feels the most uniquely big city. And I think the exploration aspect's pretty fun too. This is also the last generation that we have the mythical Pokemon involved in an event. Because I believe after this, every time they just give you the mythical Pokemon, there's no event that goes along with it. You just kind of get it. Um, which I don't know. I feel like it just kind of takes something away from the whole experience. Um, I kind of just wish that they had kept something similar a lot of the time, and not in the form that they did it in with fucking Pecharunt. And again, I think that, like, you know, when we get through the next one, Black 2 and White 2, that's where we will see a game that I think handles this kind of thing a lot better. This generation is interesting, um, because it's the only generation that has a sequel. Because then after this we have X and Y. Then after that we have Sun and Moon. Well, Ultra Sun, Ultra was Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon sequels? I think they were. I don't remember. I don't even think I played through the entirety of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon yet. I think I did like halfway, and I was like, yeah, close enough. What else was there? I like Audino and the way that Audino could be used to kind of make grinding a little bit easier. Um, I like the way they scale the experience to add a little bit of difficulty to it. And again, we'll get to Black 2 and White 2, where I think all of this is handled just a little bit better. Um, I think the even the side content in Black 2 and White 2 is better than Black and White. But in terms of a blueprint, I think this is a very strong um, introductory to Gen 5. And I think the thing is, too, my big issue with this game is this is, for me, the start of the, okay, next time it's going to get really good. Like, you know, next time, the next time we do this, it's going to be the best version of this. You know, the next time, next gen, it's going to be even better when we do, when we do, Gen 6 or Gen 7. It's going to be the better version of it. Like, at the end of the day, do I think that, this game is better than most of the ones that came before it? Not all of them, obviously. But I think that this is, Like, this is the beginning of the story heaviness. This is the beginning of the long cutscenes. This is the beginning of the long introductory to get you into the actual gameplay of the game. This is the beginning of, you know, when we get to the next one, then it'll get good. There's a lot of promises here that make this better than the last, but the next one is not what it should be, incrementally building off of this one. Like, yes, I think X and Y are profoundly better games, and I think that even Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are better still. But like, is it building in the way that we would hope it to? I would say probably not really. I would say we probably would want, other things introduced here, and the world to be bigger and stuff like that. Um, but But you know what? We'll talk about that more as we get into these later games. I feel like it's not right to rate this show against what comes after it. Um, so let's just remove this from the list and then go on to where we are. So, starting at the bottom, number 29, Hey You Pikachu. Number 28, Pokemon Dash. Number 27, Pokemon Pinball. Number 26, Pokemon Channel. That is the start of the twos. Number 25, Puzzle Challenge and Puzzle League. Number 24, Trading Card Game. Number 23, Rumble. Number 22, Trozy. Number 21, Diamond and Pearl. Number 20, Platinum. Number 19, Red and Blue. Number 18, Stadium. Number 17, Battle Revolution. Number 16, Stadium 2. Number 15, Snap. Number 14, Yellow. Number 13, Gold and Silver. Number 12, Crystal. Number 11, Ranger. Number 10, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. 9, Fire Red and Leaf Green. 8, Coliseum. 7, XD. 6, Ruby and Sapphire. 5, Emerald. 4, Time and Darkness. 3, Sky. 2, Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue. And 1, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think this is the new 19. I think this is better than Red and Blue. Actually, you know what? I would say it's probably better than Yellow. So we'll use the mainline games to kind of be the barometer here. So like looking at through that prism, I think that's probably the best way to do this. It's better than Red and Blue. I think it's better than Yellow. Is it better than Gold and Silver? I would say yes, only because the balancing is better. But is it better than Ruby and Sapphire? No. So then the question is this better than Crystal or better than Ranger to make this the new number 11 or the new number 12? I would say it's better than Ranger, if for no other reason than it's not as gimmicky. So we'll put Black and White at the new number 11. Black and White. And I think that we're going to have some discrepancy when we get to the distance between, what's it called? Oh, wait, hang on. Fire Red and Leaf Green is the next one. I'm sorry. I misread that. So, is it better than Fire Red and Leaf Green? You know what? I'm going to put this right under Ruby and Sapphire, making it the new number 7, Black and White. I put that in the wrong spot. But yeah, that seems correct. So that's the new number 7. But we'll wrap up there for today. Next week we'll be doing Black and White 2. Until then, have a great rest of your week.